Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Virtue Motors Arena once again for another BBL clash. And this one, obviously, is the WBBL, and it's between the hometown Newcastle Eagles and the visitors, the Oakland Wolves. Both teams looking for a win because both teams still need to clinch their playoff place. Yesterday, the Eagles had a disappointing 75-70 defeat against Durham, a game they had targeted to win. Probably the first game this season where they've been the favourites to win. And as we quite often know, favourites can always fall, and they did yesterday. And Durham thoroughly deserved their win, with Claire Paxton in particular going off on the one. For the Oakland Wolves, they on 4-9, and they really need another win. They lost yesterday, but only by 10 points to Seven Oaks Suns, so that was a pretty decent performance, although yet again another loss. So Dave Elkin sitting alongside me as always. Your first thoughts, please?
Well, first of all, that first game, I think it was January, was an absolute cracker. I mean, I watched the whole game start to finish. An absolute cracker, went to overtime, and I think the ingredients are there for a repeat, actually, because as you said, they're only one game apart. Realistically, only Cardiff, I think, have a chance of knocking either one of those two out of the playoff situations. And this is a massive game for the Eagles. Because of the fact that they've adjusted to life without Kaverdashute and Coop. I think this was probably one of the earliest games they played with that. So getting that win was brilliant for them. The Wolves are looking for all the world of how to take the big shots all the time, and they're dead really keen to make those playoff spots. When you look at the players on their team, this is a team that can light it up from the three-point line if you can let them. They hit, I think it was 14 from 32 in that earlier game in this season, and just like they did when they beat Durham, which is the other game when I've watched them, they seem to be able to hit the big shots when it matters the most.
They've also got a better record on the road than they have at home. 3 of their wins have come away from home. Obviously won at Caledonia, they won at Durham, where Eagles didn't win, and they also won at Cardiff. So they have got a bit of form on the road. Their only home win was against Essex Rebels, which again is a decent win because Essex are right up there in the playoff positions. So they have got a lot of talent, they have got a lot of ability. And I think it's not going to be an easy game at all for either side. And as Dave called it on Friday for the Newcastle-Manchester game, he thought that one was going to be a close one, and he was right. Though I think a lot of people didn't think it was going to be, and he's obviously called this one as a big close one, and I would tend to agree with him. I'd be surprised if it was a close one.
Credit to where it's due for the Eagles. They weren't expected to beat the Nottingham Wildcats, and they did. I mean, there were incidents in that game that might have helped them, but at the end of the day, they found a way to win. There was no fluke at all with the win over Essex, but I'll tell you, having watched this team ever since they came in the league, this is a different proposition to Essex. They put far more pressure on you offensively. They're very, very, very attack-minded.
So we'll just have a look at the starting fives for both sides. I think we are going to have a minute's silence in honour of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, but I might just be able to get the starting fives out there before we do that. For the Eagles, no surprise with their starting five. Number 4, Maddie McVicker. Number 9, Abby Lowe. Number 13, Deborah Rodriguez Perez. Number 14, Ori Chukwu Etu. And number 23, the captain, Alison Gorell. For for Oakland Wolves, it's number 4, Melita Emmanuel Carr. Number 10, Lauren Milligan. Number 11, Lizzie Harrison. Number 15, Louise Rouse. And number 17, Greta Uprus.
Well, Uprus is a big threat. She's an Estonian international. I mean, she's been very, very well coached. I remember when the Eagles played an Estonian team in a pre-season friendly, 2-3 years ago maybe. Really impressed with the teamwork of that Estonian team. Latvia, they're near neighbours. They're also very good at women's basketball. And I've seen her play, and she's a serious threat from the three-point line.
It's interesting because although she is from Estonia, she's played until this season, she played all her basketball in Latvia. You know, so that you know, but obviously that hasn't stopped her becoming a full Estonian international as well. So yeah, somebody we are really looking forward to seeing. And the other one is the captain, Amari Carter.
Yeah, she's a good player.
But she comes off the bench, doesn't she, with great effect, sort of thing. That's sometimes
Yeah.
the way coaches like to do it.
Well, I think we've got a duty to have a balanced situation here. We've talked about the threat from them. Well, there's a big threat on this side to Auckland Wolves, and that is Maddie McVickers, who hit 30 odd points down there. And Ali Golan, let's not forget, leads the league in scoring.
Yeah, Ali Golan averaging over 23 points a game, and as you say, Maddie McVicker hit 31 down in Auckland in the win, which was a 91-87 win in overtime. Just keeping an eye for the 1 minute silence, which I believe is the teams are going to, the starting fives are going to line up. And referee Lynn Fennick's going to blow the whistle. So the starting five's coming together. I'm about to get on with the game. As Dave mentioned as well, just looking at the stats here, and you got Maddie McVicker averaging 15 points a game, and Alison Gore averaging 23.8 points a game. Here the top two for the Eagles, and for the Wolves, Amari Cott averages 13.3 a game, and Greta Upris 12.4. I think one of the other interesting things as well is just looking at the rebounding stats. They've got an edge definitely for Auckland Wolves, about 4 rebounds a game more than the Eagles. But it's what happens on the court once the whistle goes, not what's on paper. Referee Lynn Fennick comes up it goes. And it's a bit scrappy, and I think it'll be an Essex ball, an Auckland ball.
Oh, you're a week behind there,
Yeah,
or a week ahead of yourself, I'm forgetting which.
Yes, I have had rather a rush to get here in time, so I'm just trying to calm down a little bit myself. But it's the Wolves on the attack. And here's Harrison. Mulligan. First shot goes up from Emmanuel Carr, and that's off, and Ali Gorel takes her first rebound of the game. Still got that shoulder strap, but doesn't seem to have stopped the way she's played. She played quite well yesterday at Durham, although as a team the Eagles didn't play particularly well, and Durham took full advantage of it. McVicker driving hard to the basket is fouled. First foul is on number 10, Lauren Milligan. Send McVicker to the line to shoot 2. McVicker a 72% free throw shooter. Makes 1 of 2. First point of the game for the Eagles. Emmanuel Carr to Upris. Emmanuel Carr again. It's It's Louise Rouse in for 2. Do struggle at times when these girls have their hairs down to see their numbers when I don't know the team. Here's Rodriguez Perez for the Eagles. The Gorell, he drives at the basket hard. She's blocked by Rouse. And Oakland grabbed the rebound. Harrison, Emmanuel Carr from distance, that's in and out, and drops again, once again to Gorell in the right place at the right time to pick the ball up. Maddie McVicker for 3, off the catch and shoot from Gorell's pass is good. 4-2 for the Eagles.
Well, you would think, wouldn't you, that Oakland Wolves would learn from that first game that you don't give Maddie McVicker that sort of space and time to set her feet for an easy 3-point look.
This Milligan going hard at the basket. Second foul of the game called.
I really don't understand that there's one foul being called either side, and both fouls are completely absolutely unnecessary. Because Maddie McVicker was going against 2 very tall players, so why the first one fouled her, I have no idea. And the person there driving on Rodriguez had lost position on the court. She was actually going out of bounds.
Meanwhile, Harrison nails the 3 from the foul play. McVicker now to reply for the Eagles. Chukwueto, a nice little dummy. She ducks down. Long skip pass from Lowe to Rodriguez Perez. Great pass by Rodriguez Perez, but Chukwueto can't make the layup. And it's Rouse who comes away with it. Yes, Harrison, Mulligan.
Really tough shot to take that.
McVicker forward again for the Eagles. It's stolen away by Harrison. Here's Uppris, great pass into Mulligan and a great finish by Mulligan. Lovely basketball by Oakland Wolves there.
Classic way of showing how you fill the lanes in transition basketball. Not only that, they did the most important thing about transition basketball, they created a numerical advantage.
And the Oakland Wolves look really up for this game at the moment. That was a good hands by...
Well, there's 2 things about them, Jeff. You see how hungry they are to run transition. They're also not shy at all at knocking wide open shots down.
Lauren Milligan it was with the defense, and here's Uppris. Gives it into Rouse, Rouse to Emmanuel Carr, and Emmanuel Carr slips past Abby Lowe and lays it in for 2. And it's a 9-4 start for the Wolves. Gorell yet to get going for the Eagles, which is going to take the 3 and knocks down the 3. And just as I see it, Ali Gorell answers my call, as well as a coach's call, and knocks down the 3 to make it a 2-point game.
Well, mark that spot, because 6 of the 7 points have come from that spot. McVicker's 3-point was from there. That is really, really weak defending by Perez. I'm sorry, but you just do not allow them to move the ball like that and have that much time to set the feet for a 3-point shot.
Chukwueto can't make a layup, and Uppris comes away with the ball again. She seems to have taken a few rebounds already. Greta Uppris. There's Emmanuel Carr. Ball goes back out. Uppris for 3, but that was way off. It looked way off from the moment it left the hand, to be perfectly fair.
And just having criticised 2 players already for not adjusting the positions quickly enough defensively, you've got to give credit to Abigail Lowe there for putting quick pressure on Uppris before she shot that 3-point shot. Thought that was really good defence. And of course, if we look back, Jeff, to this earlier game, this is where I think Abby Lowe found her role with the Eagles. I think she hit 20 points that game.
20 points and 9 rebounds she had,
yeah.
Ali Gorell goes in tough, can't make it. Deborah Rodriguez Perez is the one who's the judge to have put the ball dead.
Well, the referee's refreshing today. We've had so many men's games lately where we've been moaning about a number of early fouls called. He's here. We've got 2 refs who are just letting them play.
Well, let's hope that continues. Emmanuel Carr for 3, knocks it down. Great shot from the leader, Emmanuel Carr, ex-GB international, of course. The Sky Sports commentator, one of the Sky Sports team for the Women's BBL Trophy final. Yes, Abby Lowe to reply, and she does reply from good drive along the baseline by Ali Gorel. Lovely pass, and Abby Lowe appreciated the pass by knocking down the three. Harrison into Upris, back out to Rouse. Rouse for three, that one's off. Melita Emmanuel Carr takes a good rebound, but she can't make the layup, and that's going to be a jump ball called. And the ball is in the hands of the Eagles, or the arrow's in the hands of the Eagles, should say. So Amari Carter and Beth Sarson come on. To replace Lizzie Harrison and Louise Rouse.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, when you've got to play with the talent of Carr and the stats she's got and everything, that you bring her off the bench. But, you know, a lot of coaches like impact off the bench.
Yes, Abby Lowe. She turns, and I think, is that going to be given? Yep, that's going to be an and one. Foul as she spun round the player. Maury Carter's first contribution is a foul. So Abby Lowe spun round, and if Abby Lowe makes this free throw, the Eagles will get an early lead. Sorry, their first lead, not an early lead. Another substitution coming in for Oakland. It's Lauren Milligan who's gone out. It looks like it's Dorka Boris, the Hungarian girl who's come in. It is Boris indeed. She's trapped there by the Eagles, but she gets the ball away. Nice pass, good pass inside. Emmanuel Carr manages to get it up and in. Useful to have a guard at 5'10" who can also get in there inside.
She's the most active player on the court at the moment.
Bulls lead 14-12. Gorel turns the corner, and that will be a layup off the glass for Ali Gorel. 14 points all. 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter.
It's not easy to turn your forward momentum when you go into a layup into control, but she does it brilliantly.
Amari Carter. Amari Carter's drive to the basket was checked by Abby Lowe, and she's been given a blocking foul, and Carter should be going to the line to shoot two. Abby Lowe comes out, and Millie Oates comes in. Rachel Bland has also come in for Ori Chukwuetu.
See both coaches going to the bench early, and maybe that's an indication of the fact that they had hard games yesterday. Clearly, obviously, difficult one for the Eagles to take, losing to the local rivals, and obviously you play Seven Oaks, you know you're in for a hard game.
Manuel Carr makes 1 of 2 from the line. Gorel's long inbound finds Bland. Both McVicker and Gorel marked hard, but McVicker gets around this and turns around and jumps shot for 3 from the corner and makes it. Maddie McVicker on fire at the moment. Yes. Boros and Carter now combine. Back to Carter. Carter left hand 3-point shot is short. Boros does. Sorry, it's Beth Sarson with the rebound. McVicker to Oates. Into Rodriguez Perez. Hasn't been much of a factor in the game so far, but that's a great reverse layup, drive around the baseline.
Good skills. Shielded the ball brilliantly. Nice reverse right hand layup.
It's Carter. Eagles 19-17 in front. As Wolves try to respond. Manuel Carr, that's off, and McVicker picks up that rebound. Gorel's streaking away down the right-hand side, but McVicker decides not to use that. Finds Rachel Bland instead. Bland finds Oates. Oates quick ball into Gorel. Gorel on the turn is fouled by Boris. Upris and Leavold come in. Rouse and Emmanuel Carr, the two that come out. To say that the numbers on the back of the Oakland shirts are very confusing. The 8 and the 6 look exactly the same. Great play though by Ali Gorel. In a great cut from Rachel Bland, and lays it up for 2. And the Eagles lead by 4, 21-17. Here's Boros. Leavold's just come on, and she knocks down her first shot, a 3-point shot. She's only averaging 2.3 points a game, so she's already upped her average today. McVicker drives hard to the basket and is fouled. Rodriguez Perez comes out, Georgia Smith comes in. Maddie McVicker on the line to shoot 2. This was the Eagles' nemesis yesterday against Durham. They only shot 11 of 23. McVicker makes that one. Makes them both. That's 3 of 5 so far for the Eagles. Carter with a long pass. Yes, Upris, she's going to drive all the way to the basket, and big wide open gap. She saw it, picked it and drove through it and laid it in for 2. 23-22 to the Eagles, 1:31 to go. Chukwueto does well to drive all the way to the basket, but can't make a layup. It's Carter finds Leavold, and she's missed that layup. Back come the Eagles, and this time it's Gorel, faced by Upris, and good Euro step to the side, and in it goes. This Carter seen a lot of the balls since she come on. Sawson. Carter again. Upris, wow, that was a range finder indeed, but down it goes, and 3 points levels the game up at 25 all. Very high score in first quarter. Here's Rachel Bland in low to Georgia Smith. She back out. Good ball movement by the Eagles. Finds it to Ali Gorel. She can't make that. Chukwueto just fails to get the rebound. Carter comes up with the ball. Pushes it hard. That's Beth Sawson for 2. McVicker just going to hold for the last shot of the quarter. Eagles down 27-25. It's been all action and all scoring as well. McVicker's going to drive all the way to the basket, and is fouled as she does so. 3.6 seconds left. Foul is called on number 8, Beth Sawson. McVicker misses the first. Clock actually being changed to 4.6 seconds.
I don't need to look at the clock. Chris Button's giving a running commentary on where we're at.
McVicker makes the second. Eagles down by a point. Carter comes forward and has to put up a long-range 3 and misses. And that's time for the first quarter, with Oakland Wolves leading 27-26, and we'll have an advert break. It's one of the highest scoring quarters we've had in a women's game this season, Dave. 27-26, on both teams on pace for 100.
I'll predict now something that you're not even expecting. I know you're expecting some amazing comment about offense and defense. This is your game, because I'm just watching. I'm enjoying it. It's up and down. These teams are both doing exactly what they did down at Oaklands. They're both attack minded. Probably Oakland a little bit more than the Newcastle Eagles. But the Eagles have got some potential game winners there with Ali Gorrell and Matty McVicker. But they've got a multitude of scorers, and both these teams are committed to try to win this game, which I think is absolutely fantastic for the state of the WBBL.
I think for the Eagles, though, they're only a point down. They'll probably be looking for somebody else to step up. I mean, Abby Lowe has 5 points, and she's the third top scorer. But you look at the other ones, it's Maddie McVicker has 10 points, and Alison Gorrell has 7 points. But they're also the Eagles' top rebounder as well. Gorrell's got 4, and she also got 3 assists, and McVicker's got 3 rebounds. For the Wolves, Emmanuel Carr has 8 points. She leads their scorers. Upris has 5 points. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other players have scored points as well, between them 3s and 2s.
Well, this is quite a different game to yesterday, Jeff, that they faced, because what they faced yesterday was they were giving away a lot at the forward spot. I mean, Durham have got 3 6-footers there who are quite aggressive, and all 3 of them can score. This is a much more equal game between guards and forwards. And if you're going to say anything, the guards certainly favours the Eagles situation. I would say at the moment they've probably got more attack-minded forwards than the Eagles.
Upris with the ball. That's the Sarsen. Good job, but she stepped on the baseline. Good job defensively by the Eagles in any case. And they did cut out the pass.
Yeah. Well, not only cut out the pass, they forced her on the baseline as well. But you're right, the off-ball defense there by the Eagles was excellent.
Gorrell, Chukwuetu, McVicker thought about giving it inside to Gorrell. Gorrell's asked for it, and yep, she's been fouled.
I think this is just unnecessary. These referees made a great start. This is just unnecessary calling. The girl who was in the lower block was doing exactly what coaches tell girls to do when they're placed with a person posting them up. I didn't see anything wrong with that at all.
Foul was called on Boris.
Yeah.
No, I would have to agree with David. It looked almost like an unnecessary call. Gorrell goes inside and outside, and then passes to Abby Lowe, who beyond the arc knocks down a 3, and the Eagles back in front, 29-27.
Oh boy, does Abby Lowe love playing against this team.
She went for the steal there against Carter, but didn't make it. Nice pass by Carter to Leovold. Back to Upris. Upris up for 3 and in for 3. Wow, these two ladies' teams are shooting the lights out.
Did I make my point effectively before about this team?
Yeah.
They are offensive-minded. This is without doubt a coach who believes in, I bet they work hours on catch and shoot.
Certainly seems like it, the way they're playing. Here's Ali Gorrell. McVicker inside to Abby Lowe, and she's fouled by Leovold inside. Josie Leovold.
Well, if they're going to keep committing fouls like this, I mean, positional play sense was good. She had absolutely no reason at all, but she just took her eye off the ball and just moved that fraction to give the offensive player the advantage.
Multiple substitutions for
Tell you what,
Wolves.
they've got a new guard on the floor, Chris Bunton. Not talking about walking out of his box, he walked onto the floor.
Abby Lowe knocks the first free throw down. Misses the second. Score's tied at 30. It's Milligan who's just come on. Who's just come on. And wow, there's another 3-point shot. Rakes in from Greta Upris. McVicker brought it up, and Abby Lowe looking for a screen from Rodriguez Perez. Gets the screen but can't use it. Inside the last 10 seconds, as you can probably hear on commentary. Gorrell's jumper is missed. Harrison, and it's Carter all the way to the basket, but she doesn't make it, and Chukwuetu takes a good rebound. Left-handed layup, no good from Amari Carter. Chukwuetu to McVicker. Low, again, nice ball movement by the Eagles. And as soon as that ball goes inside, it's almost every single time a foul is called. It could be timeout to Oakland Wolves.
You teach defensive players to get an advantage nearer to the ball, get the right angle, and that was a perfect opportunity to steal the ball. I think that was a completely unnecessary call. Are we adverting or not?
No. So that foul was on on number 4, Emmanuel Carr. As you said, Dave, I mean, it just seems to be as if, you know, she's got a good defensive position. All she's done is put the hand over the ball. I'm not even sure she's made contact. She made contact with the ball, but
I think I need to raise an issue raised by our production team, who, having watched them shoot the lights out in this quarter so far, said they won't keep this up. But I'll tell you, in the 3 games I've watched them play, they've hit big shots at the end of the games.
Eagles timeout. Bit of a dispute about who the timeout was for. I think both coaches called it, but it's been given to the Eagles because I think Chris Bunton had called it first. His side down by 3 points at 33-30 with 8:05 left in the first half. Been a few fouls. Eagles only haven't picked up 2 fouls, whereas Wolves have picked up 7. But shared amongst 6 players.
7 fouls to 3 is not a reflection on the way this game's been played. And this has nothing to do with any bias or anything at all. The referees have been absolutely fair. They're calling what they believe to be fouls. I just think they've got to let the players play a little bit more physically on defence, particularly off the ball.
Mark Vickard the inbound for the Eagles to Gorell. Gorell turns, great pass to Chukwueto. And Chukwueto this time makes a layup. Brings the Eagles back to within points, but that was a great play by Ali Gorell. Yes, Carter bringing it forward into Harrison, Mulligan, Upris. Yes, Harrison driving inside, gets to the free throw line.
That's a lovely move.
Got herself inside and nicely settled and up for the 2-point shot and made it. At the other end, we're already seeing Gorell speeding towards the basket, but she loses the handle. And back come Wolves. Carr tried to find Milligan inside, but Maddie McVicker did a good job. Rodriguez Perez coming back out of the game. Not really a surprise as that, Dave, because I think it's a very fast-paced game, and as you said before, it's not necessarily for a big forward this game.
Yeah, it's nice to see these women showing good skills as well. I mean, I mentioned that last play by them, and it was all about a really good jab, so that's a travel.
Well, it was possibly a travel, but it was also a missed basket, and I think Abilu put off by the presence of Greta Upris. Carter at the other end is fouled by Chukwueto, and she'll be going for 2 shots, and I think there's going to be a substitution possibly on the shooter.
Well, I think that was great defense, Jeff, because they're on 0 fouls. Chukwueto's not any sort of foul trouble at all, and that player who's on the line now, Carter, since she came on, has been creating some good driving lanes, and Etta said, "You are not going to get to the basket on my watch." That was good defense.
Already Carter knocks down the first free throw, first points of the match. She does have 3 assists as well, though. Misses a second. Greta Obris takes a great rebound, and this time there's a foul called once again on Chukwueto, and Upris is able to put the ball in, and she'll go to the line for the extra shot. So 2 quick fouls on Chukwueto. Maury Carter comes off, sorry. It's number 5, Daisy Porter, who comes on. Upris makes the extra 1. They lead by 7 now, the Wolves, 39-32, and Ori Chukwueto actually is now on 3 fouls of those 2 quick ones. Step back, jump shot from Ali Gorell is good, brings the Eagles back within 5. Rachel Bland coming to the substitute's chair, or the non-existent substitute's chair, so a substitute spot. Porter drives in, stolen by Ali Gorell. Ori Chukwueto, that's a 2-on-1 break, and Chukwueto not only does she not find Gorell with the pass, she's also picked up a 4th foul in frustration.
She is very unlucky.
Not only is she unlucky, I think she's gone straight off the court to the changing room.
She's probably frustrated with herself, but there was not enough in that at all to warrant a call.
And at the moment, it's the Wolves taking advantage of it, and that's Harrison driving in strong for two.
And what they're taking advantage of is using good ball reversal to get to the basket.
Gorell drives, dances to the hoop, but can't make the layup. Milligan gives it to Upris. Upris is in for two, is she? No, misses it, but gets her own rebound, and they recycle it, and that's good work by Ali Gorell. Daisy Porter trying to get in for two, doesn't make it, but absolutely, well, the Eagles got away with one there because there was nobody under the basket, and Greta Upris really should have just took that comfortably and laid it in, but she didn't, and the Eagles have got the ball with Georgia Smith. Maddie McVicker.
8, 7, 6.
McVicker is blocked by Emmanuel Carr. She goes up for the jump shot. 2-on-1 break here. Upris, she's missed her shot on a 2-on-1 break. McVicker does well, but just can't gather in the rebound. It's all a bit hectic and frantic at the moment. Harrison sets it or tries to give it to Upris, but Abby Lowe picks up a steal and lays it in for 2 more points.
Yeah, pass was telegraphed. Abby read that really well.
She had 6 steals against Oakland in the first game. And she must be one of the biggest stealers in the game, and that's going to be a foul on Rachel Bland as Harrison turned the corner. Lizzie Harrison. Timeout has been called by the Newcastle Eagles with the score 36-41, and we'll take an advert break. So it's 36-41. Chris Bunton feels the need to call his second timeout with still 4:30 to go in the half.
Yeah, he's addressing a different issue now. The issue we had before was they just raining in 3-point shots. Any chance at all they had of sticking up a 3-point shot, it was going up. They've still got the good spacing that's creating 3-point shots, but Chris Bunton's got his players closing them down quicker now, which is giving him a different problem because they've got 1 or 2 good players who've got good footwork on jab steps and so on, and are creating inside drives that are now causing him the problem. So he just needs more situation. They've also got a problem, is they're not helping the helper.
So
and Eagles should be able to take advantage of that. And sometimes it's not easy to. You got 2 scorers like Maddie and Ali. It's not just easy to get them the ball all the time. But when people are not helping the helper, it's much easier. Does that make sense, Jeff?
it does, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I'm just looking for the battle for the rebound. Then once again, there's a foul called. This foul's on Abby Lowe. She battled for the rebound. Eagles now in the penalty. Referees haven't realised it. Table have tried to attract their attention. Table managed to get the referee's attention. And Louise Rouse will shoot the 2. Makes the first. Got the roll the first time, didn't get the roll the second time. He makes 1 of 2, and it's a 6-point game at 42-36 with 4:15 to go. The Eagles on offense with Bland to Lowe. Smith comes round. She thought about catch and shoot 3, but comes inside for 2 instead. doesn't make it though.
You know,
Rouse
that's typical. A lot of moves that are going on with the Eagles players at the minute. They're making good moves and just not finishing them.
And there's another great steal by Ali Gorel, and this time it's Abby Lowe who doesn't finish. All a little bit panicky there from Abby Lowe, I'm afraid. So a great steal by, this 3-point shot goes up from Harrison and goes in from Harrison. One of the players has got an earring in, that's what's happened there. Number 15, Louise Rouse, came back on with an earring in. Referee spotted it, asked her to take it away, but that doesn't take away. What doesn't take away is Lizzie Harrison's 3-point shot, which gives the 9-point lead now to the visitors, the Wolves. Rachel Bland, Abby Lowe, she's going to drive to the basket. That's much better from Abby Lowe, and this time a bit more confident with the layup, and in it goes for two.
That was a great finish, actually.
Yes, Sawson to reply. Gives it to Boros. Boros out to Emmanuel Carr, who's on the 3-point line. This time she doesn't make it. Great box out by Ali Gorel. She finds Abby Lowe, and Eagles chance to cut the gap again. Maddie McVicker comes through, knocks it out to Georgia Smith. That looks long, and it is long. Rebound taken by Porter. Good hands by Ali Gorel. Put a foul on Rachel Bland. Maddie McVicker takes a seat and Millie Oates comes in. Maury Carter is about to come in for Daisy Porter, who's actually on the line. 15, Louise Rouse has come out. Porter makes the first. Porter makes them both. As we said, she now takes a seat and Amari Carter comes on, so it's Carter, Milligan, Boros, Sawson, and Emmanuel Carr. Ali Gorel steps back again. 2-point jump shot is off. Georgia Smith battles for the rebound, but it's taken by Sawson. And she's off and running. Finds Boros, who drives to the basket. Tough effort, and a great rebound by Harrison. This Carter, she finds, and that's going to be a foul on Georgia Smith.
I can only think Georgia Smith must have taken a bit of a knock there.
Rodriguez Perez comes on in place of Bland.
The reason I say that is she's just stopped playing defense for a second. She looked a little bit shaken, and obviously that was what led to the easy kiss off the glass for the Oakland Wolves, who at the moment are running away with it, Jeff.
Yeah, Beth Sawson on the line makes the free throw, and it's a 12-point lead. Certainly finishing much better than the Eagles are finishing. Nice ball movement by Millie Oates. The Eagles got away with one there. Ali Gorel going for the reverse layup.
Yeah.
One of the things that's been questioned here, I think, as well, is that Deborah Rodriguez Perez was wide open there. She's only about 6 foot away from the basket, and she turned around and didn't even think about shooting. She's looking for Ali Gorel straight away.
First of all, Jeff, is players are the way they are, and she's not offensive minded. She'll make the back-to-back moves. She'll take and rebound. She'll want to put it back. But if she's a player in a better position than her, she's not going to take an outside shot. And what's interesting is the way they're playing Gorel at the moment. We'll probably talk about that more at half time.
Gorel makes the first of 2 shots from the line. Richard Bland's taken a seat and Maddie McVicker has returned. Ali Gorel makes both of the free throws. Nice ball movement again from the Wolves. Here's Carter. She finds Milligan. Once again, it's Sarson going hard inside. And that one rolls off the head, but a great rebound by Milligan. And once again, the ball fizzing around from the Wolves, and Amari Carter knocks down the three. As Beth Sarson knocks down Maddie McVicker. But 53-40, and to be fair, Wolves really deserve this. They're just, it's easy to say, it's almost a cliche. The hungrier side, making offensive rebounds and shots for fun. That one's going to be a foul call this time on, I think it's on Beth Sarson. Yep, it is Beth Sarson who's called for the foul. 53-40. Ali Gorell at the line again. Makes the first. Feels as if the Eagles have been going to the line all the time, and that's only the 12th and 13th free throw shots. It's still a lot for the first half, but it feels as if it's been more.
Well, I hope they're knocking them down better than they did yesterday.
Well, they are at the moment, 9-13. Sarson, yes, Carter lined up a three, didn't shoot it. Milligan drives in, but she's lost that off her own foot. Maddie McVicker it is, and comes away, and she's got to go all the way to the basket. Nope, she kicked it out to Georgia Smith. She steps inside for two, hits the front of the rim. Rodriguez Perez takes a great rebound, and this time, facing the basket, is able to put it in for two.
That's where she is useful.
Good rebound, good put back. Just cuts it to single digits, 53-44. But that's a really good shot by Boros. It was Beth Sarson, sorry, it was Beth Sarson. May gather I'm getting these two mixed up, and I'll tell you why at half time. Rodriguez Perez. No look pass is not good enough to Gorell. Emmanuel Carr's going to hold for the last shot. Although the way this team shot the ball, if they get an open one, they'll shoot it before the buzzer. Emmanuel, there you go, Emmanuel Carr up for three, it's off. And Eagles do take the rebound, but that's all she wrote, and it's a 55, and that's an incredible scoreline, 55-44. This Oakland Wolves side have got some offense.
They're very, very well organised in offense. They're well coached. They move the ball so well. They're really well coached, and obviously we knew they were a threat from the three-point line. I mean, we talked about Amari Carter, we talked about Upres and all the rest of it. Two other players who have really impressed me have been, where is she? Emmanuel Carr.
Yep.
I think she's played with a lot of energy, and also I think Lizzie Harris is doing a good game. But let's look at the other side. I mean, at the moment, they're good for this 55-44, yet I don't think the Eagles are playing that badly. I think the job Chris Bunton's got right now is not so much, I mean, this 55 is a lot of points to give up. I think a lot of that is frustration because they're not creating good looks themselves, and they're not getting Ali Gorell involved enough in this game for whatever reason. There's two things they can think about to do this. If they move the ball a lot, then the more they move the ball, the harder it is for somebody to stay with Ali Gorell. Secondly, if they're going to set screens, set multiple screens until she gets open. But they've got to somehow get her more involved in this game. I mean, you'll have the stats more than I do, but I don't think that McVicker and Gorell are having the sort of game they had down at Oakland.
Well, they are leading the Eagles scoring, but not as many as gone. But we'll get some stats together for you, and we'll come back and talk about things before the start of the second half. And until then, we just take the break. Not going to wait for the music. We got 2.5 minutes to go to start of the second half. Just a quick look at some of the stats from individual performances for the Eagles. Ali Gorell has 13 points. Abby Lowe has 13 points. Maddie McVicker has 10. On the rebound in front, Ali Gorell has 6 rebounds. She also has 5 assists. Maddie McVicker has 3 rebounds. For Oakland, the top scorer is Greta Oprus with 14. Lizzie Harrison has 10. and Emmanuel Carr has 8. Overall rebounding 25 to 16 in favour of Oakland, with 10 offensive rebounds on there, 16 assists to 11 assists, 6 turnovers for the Eagles, 5 to the Wolves. And looking at the 3-point percentage, you think Oakland's shooting well from 3-point range. They are. They're 8 of 17, which is 47.1%. But the Eagles are actually at 83.3% from 3-point range, but they've only taken 6, having made 5 of them. For overall, 48.4 to 46.5 seems to me as if, it always seems to me as if that Oakland have made more shots, but they actually have made more shots because they've taken more shots. It's just that percentage is slightly down. Eagles will be happier with their free throws today, 9 of 13. But again, Wolves have got 7 of 10, so they're just outscoring them there. So lots of different stats there to throw at you, but it's not really about stats, Dave. It's about performance, as you were talking to me before.
Well, if you look at it from the Eagles' point of view, I'm sorry, I thought I'd lost myself there for a second.
Sorry.
If from the Eagles' point of view, you know, a team that's averaging 65 points a game for the season, scoring 44 at half-time is really good. But from their point of view, a team that's averaging less than the Eagles, who've hit 55 points, means that there's got to be some serious talk about how the Eagles are playing defense. I haven't really picked up what the key or crunch might be. That's obviously for the coaching staff to do. But clearly in this second half, the Eagles have got to cut down the scoring opportunities they're creating. And then from an offensive point of view, I think that far too many of the Eagles' offenses are coming from individual efforts.
I think the other thing as well we're looking at, Dave, is the fact that, you know, Oakland probably are moving the ball that much quicker, and they've taken 12 extra shots, and that's one of the things that's helped them to this 11-point lead. They lead 55 to 44, and I think it'll be the Eagles who are going to inbound the ball to start off. They start with Bland, McVicker, Lowe, Rodriguez, Perez, and Gurrell, and it's Upris, Emmanuel Carr, Harrison, Milligan. Just trying to sort out who the other one is. Yeah, Rouse. Oh, another fantastic.
Well, she loves that reverse layup, doesn't she? She loves that reverse layup.
Deborah Rodriguez Perez getting in there and reverse layup for 2. Takes it down to a single-digit lead for the visitors, but they're back on the attack with Upris. Here's Harrison. Drives hard. Offensive foul. Foul call on Harrison, offensive foul, her first of the game. Nobody really in foul trouble for Wolves. They've got a few on 2, and obviously for the Eagles, Ori Chukwueto has 4. And there's obviously got to be a question mark about whether they should have tried to get her out after a third one, but there wasn't really a lot of time. Eagles were back on offense. McVicker for 3 is no good. But Abby Lowe does a great job at retrieving the long rebound and getting the ball back to McVicker, who drives in hard and is going to try and get a 3-point play the old-fashioned way, as she's fouled as she lays it in. And she'll go up the line to shoot the extra one.
Well, good move by McVicker. She's clearly capable of making these drives to the basket and finishing, despite her giving away height to other teams. But I mean, I think what I would like to see, Jeff, is I'd like to see more ball movement, which makes it harder for them, because they're overplaying Matt Vickers and Ali Gall. If you watch them, there's 2 players assigned to shut them off from the ball. You can create opportunities for them with loads and loads of cutting, or set multiple screens until you get a mismatch.
So McVicker knocks down the free throw, and the Eagles are back within 6 at 55 to 49. A little bit of pressure put on, and they almost didn't get the ball over. And in fact, they have. The whole of the Eagles bench was up and saying that they hadn't got the ball over in the 8 seconds. And eventually the referees agreed with the Eagles bench, and that's a turnover. And the Eagles got the ball in the Wolves' front court. McVicker on the ball. Gurrell flicks it off to Bland, who tries to put the 3 up, doesn't make it, but Rodriguez Perez has come up with a rebound, I think. And it's going to be, is that a foul, or is it going to be end-line ball?
The ball went over the baseline, but I'm not sure who it's going to be given to.
And there's been a foul given on number 10. Lauren Milligan. That'll be her third foul. So it's a third foul on Milligan. Eagles trying to get the ball in. Long inbound by Bland, and it's Gorell against Upris. And twist one way, then the other, and then it's the step back from Ali Gorell, but it's not good. And it's Beth Sawson, I believe, who's bringing the ball away. Discussion at half time about these numbers for Wolves. The 6, 8, and 0 all look very similar in numbers. Greta Upris drives hard to the basket and is fouled as she does so. Fouls by Deborah Rodriguez Perez. Referee Lynn Fennick giving the Lee Ryan, the Oaklands coach, a warning. Lizzie Harrison comes in.
It's not a bad substitution, is it, when after 1 minute and 40 odd seconds or 30 odd seconds you can go to a player like Leslie Harrison, who's had a really good first half coming in off your bench. Not only that, haven't they bring what's her name, Amelia Carr off the bench as well, don't they? Carter, sorry. Carter, yeah.
She hasn't come off the bench yet, but Greta Upris makes both of her free throws. She's up to 16 points personal, above her season's average, but she is a decent scorer. Here's McVicker into Rodriguez Perez, and as Dave was saying, with the amount of points they're scoring, probably a lot of these girls from Wolves are going to be above their season average. Rodriguez Perez shot is short. Oh, Mitchell Bland takes a nasty fall, but she's up and running back. Boris into Emmanuel Carr, and that's going to be a foul. A foul. Foul was on Rachel Bland. Her third personal foul.
I think the worry here is that the home team wasn't maybe playing as well as it could do in the first half, but there can be no complaints yet. This is a good game. And who made the outlet pass there? Amelia Carr. Who got under the basket at the other end before anybody else? Amelia Carr. She's having a good game, full of energy.
And that's going to be another foul on Rachel Bland, and that's her fourth foul. Eagles' third of the quarter already.
Not only that, they're on 3 fouls as well, so that's 6 fouls we've picked up in 2.5 minutes.
Good hands by Ali Gorrell. Pass from, I think it was, well, I'm almost going to give up with these two. They're both wearing exactly the same sort of clothing, not just their uniforms. They've both got their black leggings on. Abby Lowe makes 3 in the meantime. Boris and Sarson, and that's a long pass which is telegraphed and picked up by Ali Gorrell.
Great defense by Gorrell. Great defense.
She's off and running.
Take them on.
Just trying to clear everybody over.
Well, not quite like that, but
bumps into Boros, and no foul is called. This time it's going to be a foul on Abby Lowe. Mary Carter and Louise Rouse come on. Greta Upris and Melita Emmanuel Carr go out. Rachel Bland has to come out, having picked up her fourth foul.
Chris Bunt's got 2 players who he probably now can't use until the last quarter, in Chuka Orietu and Rachel Bland.
Third foul as well on Abby Lowe.
And amid all this excitement, Jeff, let's not forget the Eagles are narrowing the gap.
Partner misses that shot, and there's good rebound taken by Rouse. And wow, that's an air ball and a half. Gorell gets it to Georgia Smith. Georgia Smith decides not to go in. Long pass to Maddie McVicker. McVicker back to Georgia Smith. Back here to Gorell, who's going to go drive it in hard. That comes off our leg. No, I think that did come off Alison Gorell's leg.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about that decision. Danger here. I hope that the tension in the crowd
doesn't spill
over to the referees.
Referees have already warned both coaches no more talking from benches, and otherwise there's going to be technicals.
There's still a long way to go in this game, and there's Eagles are still well in this game. Let's not forget that.
Lizzie Harrison called for a travel, much to our coach's disappointment. Don't think it was the travel, I think it was the call. But never mind, he has Mark Vicker, and as you say, Eagles have, in all this confusion and what's going on court and off court as well, Eagles have got this back to within 5 points at 57-52. And there's going to be another foul called inside. Fouls on 11, Lizzie Harrison. Holding foul on Ali Gorel as she tried to get free.
Well, they're picking up fouls, Jeff, for the simple reason that the Eagles are doing what we'd hoped they'd done in the first half. They are setting more screens.
And I think that came as we in particular, you noticed that, but there was a long conversation between Ali Gorel and Coach Chris Button. Step back three for Ali Gorel's not quite good enough, and that's going to be a foul by Maddie McVicker.
Now, is that the penalty or are they already in it? Already in it, that's the fifth.
That's the fifth.
Wolves 2, 57-52, 5:39 on the game clock.
As commentators, we have to be very careful what we say, but I think it is just disrupting the flow of the game a little bit, all these foul calls. Well, that's an unusual technique, but it works.
Well, it's a tight game. These two teams are separated by one win. The playoffs are at stake. You would expect the players to be battling the way they are today. Both teams playing really hard to try and get this win. Can't take that away from them. That's a terrific move.
Yeah, Abby Lowe, great move. She went past Amari Carter and she was fouled. And she'll go to the line for two. 5:27 left in the third quarter, and both teams in the penalty.
I think somebody in the Eagles coaching team have been teaching these players the jab step and how important it can be in losing a player. That little foot fake to the right, and she was gone to the left.
Abby Lowe makes the first from the line. As you said, Dave seems to be a favourite team to play against.
Oh, I'm just impressed with the way she's improved this season.
Knocks them both down. Once again, we have a 5-point game. Carter into Harrison. And it's a great steal once again by Abby Lowe. Ali Gorel going hard to the basket, and she lays it in for two. That's a thank you very much for the steal from Abby Lowe. Ali Gorel converts it.
In amid all the excitement, we have a 3-point gap.
Absolutely, and here's Boris going hard to the basket, and she misses that one. That's a foul by Rodriguez Perez.
Hope that doesn't put her in foul trouble as well, because before you know it, I think we'll have 3 or 4 players. No, she's only a second, is it?
Only a second, yeah.
In fairness to Rodriguez Perez there, she stood absolutely still. I mean, maybe from where we are, we can't see it. Maybe she nudged her hip, but she couldn't have done much else other than what she did in terms of trying not to get the foul.
Boris knocks the first free throw down. Makes the second as well. 4 of 4 from the line for Dorka Boris.
That'll make them feel a bit better, because there's been not a lot of production out there offense in this quarter compared to the first half. I mean, that's only, was it 6 points they've scored in the whole half? Since half time?
Yep, 55 at the half, so 6 point. Yes, Gorel goes in hard, left-handed layup off the glass, and it's back to a 3-point game. There's Boris for Wolves.
And to all you young players watching, that's testament to how important it is to learn to use both hands, particularly your weak hand, when you're learning the game.
Eagles managed to snaffle that ball free. Maddie McVicker's away to the races. Out into the corner to Alison Gorell for 3. Just make it, but Rodriguez Perez takes a great offensive rebound, recycles it to Maddie McVicker. Her catch and shoot is in and out. Rodriguez Perez once again going in for the rebound, and this time she's fouled in the act of trying to get to it, and it'll be 2 shots to Deborah Rodriguez Perez. Good hustle by the Eagles, and not surprisingly, Oakland Wolves, I think, have they called a timeout or not?
No, just making substitutions.
Making substitutions, but I think that must be the 3rd final warning that the coach has had.
The 3rd and final warning,
No,
Jeff.
the 3rd final warning.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is he really shouldn't be here.
Well, he should have been teed, I think, by now. Meanwhile, Rodriguez Perez makes it a 2-point game, chance to make it a 1-point game. This is the second. Abby Lowe is going to be called for the foul as she goes for the rebound. And that's 4 fouls on Abby Lowe, and that'll be 2 shots at the other end. So we're just really at the moment just going from one foul line to the other foul line. We've still got 4 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, and the Eagles now have 3 players on 4 fouls as Abby Lowe goes off. The reason I said 3rd final warning, Dave, was because Lynn Fenwick stood in front of the table and warned both coaches if there was any more talking, there would be a technical foul. And then John Paul Heron, the other referee, has just said exactly the same to the Wolves coach. It's a bit bizarre. The referee's not necessarily working in tandem there. But meanwhile, Dorka Boris has shown her skills from the line. That's 6 of 6 she's made in this quarter. Just edges the Wolves back out to 4 points, but the Eagles have done a great job in this quarter bringing it all the way back. And that's a steal by Carter, who was right on the money there.
Wasn't a very well executed pass, I'm afraid.
Upris.
Pass away from the defender is what we coach.
Sawson driving hard.
Oh, that is an awesome move.
Yeah, Sawson drove hard and found a partner, Boris, who made a fantastic drive to the basket and laid it in. It's a 5-point game again. 65-59 in favour of the Wolves. Maddie McVicker goes in hard but can't make the layup. Upris takes the rebound, and Wolves look as if they score here, they may well force a timeout. Don't make the shot though. Sawson's shot is off. Ali Gorrell's going to try and get to the basket. She's fouled by Greta Upris. And we'll go to the line for 2 shots.
Not sure I've seen the scoreboard so well lit up.
I just hope the electricity bill is going to get paid at the end of this week.
I think it's Christmas time.
Ali Gorrell knocks the first one down. And I was going to count the number of fouls called, but I haven't got enough fingers and toes. More importantly though, Ali Gorrell makes both from the line and makes it a 4-point game again with 3:05 to go in what seems to have been the longest 3rd quarter in history.
Well, let's not forget, Jeff, there's a lot at stake here.
Yeah.
Making the playoff means a lot to both these teams. Only one of them.
Upris steps on the line.
Yeah, I think looking at the league table, potentially only one of these 2 teams can make the playoffs.
I think
they kind of could be knocking each other out. Obviously, everybody in this part of the world will hope very strongly that's the Eagles, especially after yesterday, which was definitely a setback for them.
So McVicker brings the ball up, 61-65. McVicker trying to find some space, gives it to Georgia Smith. She's going to drive in hard. Once again, looking for Gorell or McVicker. Gorell's going to go, little jump shot is no good. Millie Oates almost picks up the rebound, but it's Boris who comes away with it, and she gives it to Emmanuel Carr, who's back on. Boris again. finds Carter. Carter's going to drive hard. There's the left-handed jump shot and in for two. Nice move by Amari Carter. He's up 6 points personal, below our average, but she's leading through example in that particular instance. Here's Ali Gorrell. That's a great pass over to Deborah Rodriguez-Perez, and Rodriguez-Perez lays it in for two.
Good finish. Good pass, good finish.
Excellent basketball all round. 4 point gap again, 67-63. Here's Upris. Boris for three. That one's off the edge and goes out. She apologises. Doka Boris apologises to her teammates. As if to say, yeah, that was probably a bad shot. That's earned her a seat on the bench as Joyce Leavold comes back on. McVicker to bring the ball up. 63-67, 1:37 to go in the third quarter. Ali Gorrell trying to get to the basket. Does get to the basket but can't make the layup. Maddie McVicker. Well, is that not a foul one way or the other? No call given on the halfway line. McVicker stood almost still and was pulled over.
Well, Chris Bunton because that was a foul. That was a blocking foul.
Yeah, and that's exactly what John Paul Heron, referees, just said to Chris Bunton.
Yeah.
If I'd called a foul, it would have been a blocking foul.
Yeah.
Manuel Carr puts it in to Sarson. She gives it to Leavold, back to Sarson. Sarson for three, hits the front of the rim. Upris. I think that's going to be a foul for Greta Upris. I almost called that myself because she definitely pushed off on Ali Gorrell. Yeah.
She definitely put her hands on her. Whether she pushed off or not is a different issue.
So it's two shots for Ali Gorrell. Knocks the first one down. Makes them both. That's 67-65. Substitution. Lizzie Harrison comes back on for Greta Upris, who's on the 3 fouls now. Eagles putting a bit of a press on here, Dave. Just a soft press though. Emmanuel Carr brings it over the halfway line, guarded by Maddie McVicker. Into Sarson. Here's Boris. Back to Emmanuel Carr. She thought about the three but didn't shoot it, as did Leavold. Good defense at the moment by the Eagles. Boris nowhere to go at the moment. Goes to Maury Carter though. Her 3-point shot is off. Ali Gorrell's up and takes the rebound. 41 seconds left to go. McVicker for three. And that gives the Eagles the lead. And that's a fantastic comeback in this quarter. And I think this time, no, I was going to say it was going to be a timeout, but it's not. It's just a shoelace tie for Melita Emmanuel Carr. And the Eagles have turned this on fantastically well, Dave. And I think probably the two teams have just maintained enough better discipline. 68-67. The visitors with a chance as we enter the last 30 seconds of the quarter. Melita Carr's shot is short. Georgia Smith comes away with the rebound. And the Eagles were going to hold for the one shot. McVicker, oh no, she's just lost the handle as she goes over the line there. So she's trying to go through the middle. Eagles have won this quarter so far by 24 points to 12. The three big scorers having a big game. Ali Gorrell has already got a double-double of 21 points and 10 rebounds, but I'll get to some stats at the quarter break. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Amari Carter, has she seen? Yes, she has. And her shot's well short. And that ends a fantastic quarter by the Newcastle Eagles. They took that 24 points to 12, and they take a 1-point lead into the final quarter. It's 68-67. This one's a real thriller, Dave.
It is, and you know, there was a lot of calls in that, and I don't want to comment about the number of calls, but what the effect of those calls was, there's a lot of people going to the free throw line to shoot after being in the penalty. At first, that favoured the Oakland Wolves because they were getting most of the calls, and then that swung around completely and started to favour the Eagles because they were getting the most of the calls and going to the charity stripe. But the big difference between the team is that massive three that Maddie McVickers made right there. She didn't even think about it. She was open, she took it, she knew the clock was ticking down. Brilliantly executed three-point shot. Her technique was superb.
Just checking to see whether we need an advert. Yep. Just have a look at some of the scorers when we come. So just looking, Dave, because you just mentioned the free throw percentages before, and Eagles are shooting 17 of 22 at 77%, which is pretty good. But again, Oakland are shooting 15 of 18 for 83%. Foul count is 18 Wolves and 16 to the Eagles, and we have.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You look at the scoreboard and you see the Eagles with 3 players on 4 fouls. You think they're in foul trouble, but they've actually been picking up most of the fouls, and they've got, 2 players just 1 away from the 4. But Chris Bunn's got the hardest time now because he's got to decide when and if he can use those 3 players who are on 4 fouls.
Eagles top scorer Ali Gorer with 21 points, 10 rebounds and 7 assists, also 4 steals, so we're looking triple-double possibly. Abby Lowe has 18 points and Maddie McVicker has 16 points as Lizzie Harrison drives along the baseline, and that's off Greta Upris, and the Eagles get another stop. So Abby Lowe has 18 points, Maddie McVicker 16 points, and Rodriguez Perez 9. For the Wolves, it's Greta Upris with 16, Dorka Boris with 14, and Lizzie Harrison with 10. The Eagles back on offense, 1 point to the good. Georgia Smith tried to find Maddie McVicker, but Upris gets her foot out and deflects that away. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, one thing about this foul trouble, Jeff, is that yes, those 3 players who are on 4 fouls are important, but it's important that Perez, Maddie McVicker,
Corral for 3 makes it a 4-point game for the Eagles.
Yeah, I was just saying that it's important that Perez doesn't get in foul trouble.
And that's I think a technical foul on the Oaklands bench. Oh no, is it? No, sorry, that's the 4th final warning. Yeah, I used to say you can't have a film called Final Destination and then have a Final Destination 2, because if it's a Final Destination, that's a Final Destination. So that's the 4th final warning for the Oaklands coach.
So he wasn't actually given a tee?
No.
Oh, that's interesting.
Manuel Carr, good footwork by her, a lovely pass inside. Ali Goro comes from behind though and makes the block. Harrison thinks about putting it up. Into Rouse, back out to Upris, and that's a 24-second shot clock violation, but the Eagles have took the rebound and Ali Goro goes coast to coast and is fouled as she tries to put the layup in. Very sporting, Emmanuel Carr picks her up.
Well, 9 minutes is a long time to go, but I'll tell you what, with 9 minutes to go, that's a massive place from Ali Goro, because for all the world there, you think that they're going to score a layup, and she gets a great block shot in. But not only that, she takes the ball straight to the heart of their defense and gets herself on the line.
Well, for me, she got a rebound, a block, a steal, and then a foul at the other end. So, yep.
And seeing as you haven't put the kiss of death on her, she's going to make 2 out of 2.
She's made the first. Misses the second. It's the first miss of the night. She's 9 of 10 from the line. But the Eagles, what the 1 point gives them a 5-point gap. It's 72-67. Here's Upris, Rouse into Emmanuel Carr, back out to Rouse, but that's nobody there. Rouse is in the wrong place. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Emmanuel Carr driving hard to the basket. That's going to be a foul by Dagmar Rodriguez-Perez. No, that was a foul, was before the shot clock. That's a third foul on Rodriguez-Perez, so she's still got 2 to give. 8:35 to go. Referee's conferred as to whether she was shooting. I would have said she was. I think she'd picked the ball up, so I would say that she was 2 shots. 2 shots for Melita Emmanuel Carr. Her 3rd and 4th visits to the line. She's 50%. That takes it to 66%. She makes this one, it'll be 75%. And it's off, so she's still at 50%. 2 of 4. Rodriguez-Perez took the rebound. Eagles 4-point lead and on the offense with Mac Vicker. Rodriguez-Perez come to set the screen, but Mac Vicker is in for 2 with and making your point there, Dave, with a left hand. 74-68, Eagles up by 6. Here's Milligan, back to Harrison. Back into Milligan. Milligan's going to work against Millie Oates, but Millie Oates stood really tall, made the shot difficult, and Eagles have come away with the rebound once again. This time Ali Gorel probably did the right thing then in just coming out and just slowing the game down slightly, although Mac Vicker has found her for 3 and it's off. Milligan tried to got the rebound and tried to throw the pass to Rouse on the break, but Mac Vicker was in there with the steal. Georgia Smith. Mac Vicker thought about the 3, steps back for the 3, puts it up and puts it in. Maddie Mac Vicker makes a 3, and Lee Ryan says that's enough for me. With the Eagles now have turned this game around completely and now lead by 9 on Maddie Mac Vicker's 3, and it's a timeout to Oakland Wolves, and we'll go to an advert so we can draw a breath. Just saying that, Dave, at 1 point, the Wolves led by 13, so the Eagles have turned it around by 22 points. That's a fantastic effort, particularly in this second half.
One thing that's starting to cross my mind here is that I think traditionally Oakland have had a fairly youngish team. I don't know whether that's the situation at the moment, but they're not showing a lot of experience at the minute. And I'll give you an example. Is Maddie Mac Vicker comes down the floor, and that spot where she's taking all these moves from, just behind where the 2 referees are standing, the person who's guarding Ali McGorrell went just right into the corner and literally stood in the face of Ali McGorrell and had no idea at all that Maddie Mac Vicker was making a drive behind her back. So in some ways, their overplayed defense and picking out those 2 players is working against them. Be interesting to see if you just watch what they're doing on Ali Gorrell, and Matt Vicker's taking advantage of that, because if you're going to overplay somebody right in the face, you're going to leave space for people to move into with the ball.
It probably shows as well, and I know there's a little bit of bias coming in here, it probably shows as well how good Ali Gorrell is. I mean, being guarded like that, she's still managed to get 25 points.
What do you often say to a player if they're playing box and one? Go and stand in the corner, go and stand at the halfway line. That's what she did. Ali Gorrell took her player to the corner, and she was face guarded. That means that player can't help out at all.
There's Boris. Eagles getting the shot clock right away down. Boris is going to have to put up the 3, and it's a long 3. Well, it's not a long 3, it's a high arcing 3, and it drops in. She needed to make that, but there's a good outlet pass from Gorrell to Mac Vicker. Back to Gorrell. Millie Oates playing some decent minutes for the team here. Abby Lowe's back on, she's got 4 fouls. She finds McVicker. McVicker for 3 is good. Maddie McVicker up to 24 points on 5 of 7 3-pointers as well.
She's unguardable at the moment.
6:30 to go and the Eagles lead by 9 at 80-71. Here's Milligan into Emmanuel Carr. Emmanuel Carr inside, tries to find Boris on the sideline, but instead throws it ball out of bounds. I want to pick up on something here, Dave. You know, when you look at Millie Oates' line, all she's got is 1 assist on her stat line, but the Eagles are +8 while she's on. and I guess that's probably down to a lot of the defense that she's been playing. Here's Ali Gorrell. Obviously the scorers are scoring as well, which also helps. Here's Abby Lowe going to drive to the basket, and that's going to be a foul by Amari Carter. Her 3rd foul. Hadn't picked it up, so it's going to be an end-line ball to the Eagles. $50 points between them for the backcourt duo. Here's Gorrell. Uses Rodriguez Perez as a screen. Rodriguez Perez turns. Oh, Abby Lowe thought she was going to take the rebound, and Emmanuel Carr came up with it from somewhere.
Rebound came off like a rocket off the backboard.
It did indeed, and here's Harrison for 3. That one's off. Maddie McVicker, what sort of height did she get there?
It's like watching Cortez was take a rebound, isn't it? When you watch Maddie McVicker take a rebound, let's hope she hasn't hurt herself.
She's a little bit winded, I think. Press up, and she's up. Well, if you're an Eagles fan this season, you've been spoiled, haven't you, with the backcourt? So you've got Cortez Edwards and Ramon Fletcher for the men, and Ali Gorrell and Maddie McVicker for the women. It's unbelievable, really.
Yeah. And we're looking at this turnaround in this game here, and who would have believed that when the Eagles suffered the loss of those 2 experienced players? But the groups hung together, produced some surprises.
Referee's very unsure what the call was, because they had to stop the game because it looked as if Maddie McVicker had a really bad foul. But I think it's going to be a Wolves ball. I think looking as whether they should be wiping the court. So it was an Oakland ball. Here's Boris. She finds Milligan for 2 points. Cuts the gap to 7, 5:27 to go. There's McVicker, she's going to drive in again. She thought about driving against Harrison, but instead gives a lovely pass to Ali Gorrell. Rodriguez Perez back out to Millie Oates. Millie Oates' shot is just off. And Boris comes away with the rebound, and the Wolves are off and running. Ball is out to Emmanuel Carr. Milligan back to Boris. He has Emmanuel Carr for 3. And that one's in as well. And here come the Wolves. 80-76. It's a 4-point gap, and they've scored the last 5 points. This is a really tough game as well, and there's a foul on Milligan. That's her 4th foul. Rachel Bland coming back in for the Eagles, and Millie Oates takes a break. Excellent defensive effort from Millie Oates. Shame she missed that 2-point shot, but her minutes have been valuable with both Rachel Bland and Ori Chukwueto on 4 fouls. McVicker thought about the long 3, but decided against it. Bland's pass inside to Gorrell. Gorrell's doesn't make it, but Rodriguez Perez takes a great offensive rebound, and the Eagles can recycle. McVicker with a step back 3, and it goes again. Maddie McVicker on fire. 83-76, 4:22 to go. McVicker up to 27 points personal, and don't forget she torched the Wolves for 31 down in St. Albans earlier in the season. A nice move by Emmanuel Carr. Can't make the layup, but gets her own rebound, and Harrison goes there hard for the rebound and made it. 2 or 3 offensive rebounds there for Oakland Wolves and a great
I think I'm right here. Don't wolves hunt in packs?
Exactly, yeah, absolutely.
They are going at it, aren't they?
And it was a great shot by Boris for 2.
With effort like that, you're not out of this
That's going to be
game.
a foul by Boris.
I don't care whether the Wolves are young and experienced or what, but they're showing a great desire to want to get back in this game.
This could be important. I think that foul puts them in the penalty.
It is,
does,
yeah, definitely, yeah.
And the Eagles have only got 1 foul on their McVicker's left-handed layup is off. Emmanuel Carr takes another rebound. She's done well on rebounding recently. Good footwork and handles. Carter to Boris. Boris, there's that high arcing shot again, but this time it's an air ball, but it's picked up by Milligan. Carter, Emmanuel Carr for 3, and it's in for 3. Left open there, and it's a 2-point game, and Chris Button calls a timeout, and we'll go to an advert. Dorka Boris with that shot is now up to 19 points personal. She has 6 rebounds and 5 assists. Good all-round game from her. Greta Obrist 16 points, 7 rebounds. And Emmanuel Carr 15 points and 7 rebounds. Lizzie Harrison has 10 points. And Amari Carter 6 points and 5 assists. For the Eagles, well, Maddie McVicker has 27 points, 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Ali Gorel, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists and 4 steals. Abby Lowe, 18 points. And Rodriguez Perez probably having her best game in an Eagles vest, 9 points and 8 rebounds.
We're all getting great value for money. This is absolutely super game to watch. The shades here, what went on down at Oaklands earlier on, what went on at Maiden Castle in Durham when they pulled it out of the bag there against Durham, is these girls know how to hit the big shots at the end of the game. So the Eagles defense has got to be right on top form to see this game out.
I think the one thing we can't rule out here as well is obviously is overtime. 3 minutes to go, there's only 2 points between them. Step back 3 from Gorel is off. Emmanuel Carr takes another rebound. Just mentioned the fact that she seemed to be getting into a rebound position. Seems to me as if she's switched more from a guard to a forward position. She's at the free throw line and banks it in off the glass.
That wasn't the prettiest shot in the world, but it's irrelevant. It went down and it's tied the game.
83 all, and
yeah.
The Wolves continue their good run, and Emmanuel Carr's up to 17 points and 8 rebounds. Hunting a double-double herself. McVicker faced by Emmanuel Carr. She gets in and has to come back out. Puts it up and in it goes again. A long 2 from Maddie McVicker. She steps back. 85-83 with 2:24 to go. Wolves with a chance of either going in front or leveling it, and I say that because they like to shoot the 3. Although this time once again it's Dorka Boris. She knocks down the 2 and we're level again at 85-85.
Well, we've got 2 teams here, Jeff, battling for 1 place in the playoffs, and what an exhibition of basketball they're giving us.
And that's going to be a foul as McVicker drives in, and they're in the penalty, so she will go to the line. And it's also Lauren Milligan's 5th foul, so she's out of the game for the last 2 minutes. Georgia Smith comes in for Rachel Bland. Maddie McVicker going to the line to shoot 2. Beth Sawson takes the place of Lauren Milligan. McVicker knocks the first one down. McVicker misses the second, but the Eagles have that 1 point lead, 86-85. Maddie McVicker 6 of 9 from the free throw line tonight. 29 points or 30 points personal, I think she's got now. And that's going to be a foul by McVicker at the other end. Little 2 hands in the back.
Doesn't mean anything at this stage. They've still got 2 to give. Well, we talked about all sorts of things in this game, Jeff. I don't think we mentioned the name Uppress recently, have we? Because it's been a lot about other players today.
Yeah,
but
Boris and Manuel Carr, definitely.
Yeah, you think of the way the Eagles have got back in this game, and you keep mentioning the step back. Both Matty McVicker and Ali Gore have got good step backs and side steps as well, and almost hit shots from anywhere.
Carter out. That's a long two, but it doesn't go, and it's another offensive rebound for the Wolves.
And the shooter followed it in.
Amari Carter, nice footwork, comes in for two, but that's off. And this time Ali Gorel takes the rebound. And it's going to be, well, it won't be a shot clock reset because it's still 21 seconds. Ali Gorel thought she was over and away, and Georgia Smith in front of her, and the ball just came off.
Well,
one of the Wolves
all
players.
stuff like that's just adding to the great drama, making this a fantastic game to watch.
So 86-85, Eagles on offense, 1:23 to go. Georgia Smith with the ball in hand. Gives it back to Ali Gorel. She gives it Abby Lowe. Abby Lowe very briefly thought about the three, but instead drives hard to the basket and lays it in with her left hand. Puts the Eagles up by 3 at 88-85 as we tick down to 1:05 left on the clock. And it's Boras for the Wolves to Sarson. She finds Carter in the corner. Carter comes inside. It's back out to Sarson. Sarson guarded all the way by Lowe, who can't go in. Lovely pass. Really lovely pass from Beth Sarson to Greta Upris. And that's Greta's 4th point of the second half and takes her up to 18 points personal. She had 14 at the half.
And narrows the gap to 1.
Back to 1, and Eagles have lost that ball. Abby Lowe, and it's stolen by Emmanuel Carr.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a blocking foul on Maddie McVicker, which isn't the worst foul in the world because the Eagles still got 2 to give.
Yeah. Well, 1 now.
1 now, yeah.
Oh, actually, no, you're right. 2 before the shooting. Yeah, good point, Jeff.
Well, timeout called by Coach Lee Ryan for Oakland Wolves. Amazing in this game that's only the 3rd timeout of the second half.
Well, I'm going to say there's 38 seconds to go and there's 2 timeouts each. They're probably going to need them in this 38 seconds, and no idea at all what's going to decide this game.
Well, it's at the moment it's 88-87. The Eagles lost the ball on the steal there, and so it'll be end line ball to Oakland Wolves at the Eagles end line. After the foul by McVicker, who's now on to 3 fouls. So we have, for the Eagles, Maddie McVicker has 30 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Abby Lowe has 20 points with 3 assists. Alison Gorel, 25 points, 12 rebounds and 8 assists with 4 steals as well. Eagles have only got 2 points from the bench, whereas the Oakland's bench has contributed 9, 11, 32, 35 points. Done a good job on the likes of Milligan and Rouse. Even Harrison's slowed down to 10 points. But it's Dorka Boris with 21.7 rebounds and 5 assists, who's bringing her team back. And obviously Greta Upris had a good first half, and she's 18 points and 8 rebounds. So really, there's match winners on both sides is what I'm basically saying, Dave.
Well, it's interesting that Emmanuel's putting the ball in, because I think whoever's passing this ball in now has got a big job. They've got to make sure it goes to somebody wearing a white vest. That's the first start. Good back screen.
Carter gets it from Emmanuel Carr.
Now that is a different foul, because that puts them in the penalty.
Yep, and it's still end line ball, 31.3 seconds to go.
You know who's one of the hardest players to guard is? The person who inbounds the ball from the end line. Who took that rebound? Yeah. Emmanuel. She has worked so hard without the ball.
Deborah Rodriguez-Perez picks up her 4th foul. That's a lovely pass inside. It's a great pass inside from Carter to Emmanuel Carr, but she missed the first layup. Ali Gorel's going to go hard to the basket and makes the layup. What a play by Ali Gorel. Coast to coast, it's speed and takes the Eagles back up by 1 at 90 to 89. Carter comes back out. Emmanuel Carr thought about it. Boris will take the 2. Long 2 misses it. Georgia Smith comes up with the rebound. Wow! 5.9 seconds to go. And Oakland had a real chance to make that basket. Didn't make it. Georgia Smith now will go to the line at the other end with 2 free throws, with the score 90 to 89. This will be Georgia Smith's first trip to the free throw line tonight. Georgia Smith makes the first, makes it a 2-point game with 5.9 seconds to go. Not sure if it's a timeout or a substitution call coming in from the Eagles. I think it's a substitution. Rachel Bland coming in. Georgia Smith misses the second, so it's a 2-point game. Well, 1.2 seconds left on the clock.
I think they might have to review that clock because it ran on a little bit after the ball went out, I think.
I tell you what it did do. They actually went down to 0 and then went back to 1.2. Yeah, because it definitely went down to 0 and then it flicked back up to 1.2. So
well, there were so many things I was thinking about there. One is if Georgia Smith had made that, it would have been a 3-point game. So unless somebody was going to be daft enough to foul a 3-point shooter, that pretty much gave it to the Eagles. But also, if she missed, it was going to be very difficult for them to score in 5.7 seconds. And that's what it turned out to be. The Eagles put enough pressure on to deny them an easy outlet pass.
So 91-89, 1.2 seconds left. They haven't reviewed the clock, so that's what it will be, 1.2 seconds left. It is Oakland's ball in the Eagles' half. Sideline ball, obviously drawing up the play. I'm sure they'll take the 2 to take it over them, especially when you look and think that the Eagles have got 4 players on 4 fouls as well.
Well, this is not like a situation where you can come and inbound the ball from the what you call the advantage line. They have to inbound the ball from where it went out to play. Makes it even harder for them.
They'll be advancing it because they called the timeout. So
I'm not sure you can do that. Oh, she's taking the ball to the advantage line. You're right.
So 1.2 seconds left. Can the Eagles make one final stop, or can the Wolves make one final shot? Will they go for a 3 or a 2? I think they'll take whatever they can get, and I think it's going to be a 3. It is, and it's going to be a massively long 3, and it's off the backboard, and the Eagles have won an absolute thriller. Greta Upris's long 3 misses the target, and the Eagles take it by 91 points to 89. What a fantastically entertaining game of basketball that was. Absolutely superb. Really enjoyed it. Hard to call because it went so fast, but you must have enjoyed that one, Dave.
I really enjoyed it, but I enjoyed the first game. I watched the whole thing at home on the TV. These two teams just know how to play against each other. And remember, these are the teams that are, 7th and 8th in the league. No, 7th and 9th, 8th and 9th, I think, isn't it? Yeah.
And so, well, need to draw me breath a little bit there and just consider what's going to happen.
Well, maybe we could think about who's here next or where they're going next, or because that's what's becoming really important now, isn't it? Who has still got to play?
I think the ladies are at home next Sunday against Durham. Yeah, I think that's their next game. That's a 1:30 game, I believe. And before that, though, it'll be the Eagles men against Leicester Riders here. And that'll be a 6 o'clock one. It's not a Sky game.
It is a Sky game.
It is Sky game.
Yeah,
we moved to a Sky game.
Yeah,
It has been moved to a Sky game. That's right, yeah. I think one of the reasons for that is because I think if Leicester win, it could be the league title for them. So that's been moved to a Sky game, 7:30 on Friday, and then the Eagles women will be back here to play Durham at 1:30 next Sunday. But from Dave and myself, final score, Newcastle Eagles 91, Oakland Wolves 89. Absolute thriller, a pleasure to call, and I hope you enjoyed watching and listening there at home.